It's Sean. I'm no longer your boy because I've been told that's a trite intro. So until I come up with something else, I don't want to be your boy anymore. It's Cageside Live, everybody. Geno's back from vacation. What up, General?
What's going on? I'm happy to be back.
Good. We're happy to have you back.
I came back, and the Cageside offices, which we were made fun of for saying we even have Cageside offices, were surrounded by screaming Bella fans with torches, ready to burn the place down. I ran into the Bella army again yesterday.
They scare me.
They're fucking nuts, dude. Like, here's something that was said to me. Shut the fuck up, bitch, before I shoot you with a bow and arrow in your gobble gobble turkey ass and put you in my oven. That's verbatim. Okay, it's not verbatim, but that's close. That is, and someone responded, they're like, that's a weirdly specific insult.
Yeah.
Like, you just threatened to make you a Thanksgiving dinner. I'm not understanding here how you got to that point yet. And this all came about because Canaanite, who is just so over with me because I saw someone in the thread go, I just figured out your name. I thought that was the best thing in the world. But yeah, it was because he posted an article saying, you know what? You're not actually even tied with AJ Lee for the record yet. And people were like, oh my God, can you imagine not having enough of a life to actually look at the hours and minutes? Are you serious? Get a fucking life. And it's like you said to me in Slack.
In the Cageside offices.
At the Cageside offices. Imagine these people talking shit to us. We are not the ones who introduced the hours and minutes and fucking seconds of this
shit. Bellatron.
They did that. So we had a guy who sat there and thought, hey, you know what? I'm going to check the accuracy of this, which they strive. Fuck, I'm getting bombed today because I screwed up some fucking transcribing. I put A-R-A-R-E instead of our, O-U-R, like 8 times in a row. I know I'm the worst. I finally fixed it. It's our highest traffic post of the day, too, which is fucking...
The Reigns one?
Yeah.
Well, I fixed one of those, and I didn't see the other ones. So
yeah, I actually had to Control F and put it in and was like, Jesus, there's so many. It was so
I saw one in the Ambrose quote, and I changed it, but I didn't see any others, so I suck, too.
It was so late at night when I was writing it. I was so tired. I felt bad that you were doing so much work, so I was like up late. I was pounding out a bunch of work or whatever, and you're fucking tired. I'm sorry, people make mistakes. But yeah, so he does it, and you'd think people would want the accuracy, and we just got fucking lit up from all sides for it. And people were like, you should take the high road, Geno. Cageside's a great blog. And we got a ton of traffic on that story, which initially wasn't, whatever, and then suddenly I started arguing with people. All these Bella stands out here accusing me. Hang on, real quick, before we get into shit. If you accuse me of being an AJ Lee stan, okay, and I just learned that what stan is, apparently
I learned that yesterday too. Is it from the Eminem song?
It is the Eminem song.
That's what I figured. It took me a second, but then I figured it out. Yeah.
Psychotic fans, and it's the new vernacular. Apparently, whatever.
All the kids are saying it.
So you call me an AJ stan, and your picture is an airport photo with Nikki Bella. If you have an airport photo with a wrestler, you stalked them. That's called stalking, everybody. If you actually knew they're going to be at this airport around this time, let's go there and bump into them and harass them and try to get a picture and meet them. And it's accepted behavior because we live in this celebrity bullshit culture, right? But it's bullshit. That's stalking, people. You stalked somebody just to meet them because you feel so strongly about them. And you're calling me an AJ Lee stan because someone on my staff wrote an article checking the accuracy of WWE and their stupid Bellatron. How delusional are these people? But what sucks is Twitter needs to start making people declare how old they are in their profiles, so you can know the age of the person you're talking to. Because I'm a 28-year-old man, probably arguing with like 15-year-old girls who just.
Well, that would scare me though, because you're going to find out that some of these people are like 44-year-old. I mean, that's just sad. I don't want to.
That's the average viewership for Raw. Most of these people are old as fuck. They're like your
age. I want to assume that those are all 13-year-olds. I don't want to find out that like the guy, like my dentist, is like tweeting you calling you an AJ stan and threatening to put you in his oven.
Oh, there's some guy from Diva Dirt. Okay, this website that I guess they apparently they were talking about, you know, our traffic's good, and I looked and and I'm not trying to be that guy.
That was some shade. Diva just threw shade on Diva's Dirt.
Hang on. No, I'm not trying to be that guy, but this dude, right, he's talking shit to us because I was talking about Nikki. He's like, oh, he's a Bella hater. Again, dude, if you were reading the argument I was making, I'm not hating on Nikki Bella at all. I'm a huge fan of the work she does in the ring. Her forearms are the greatest thing in maybe wrestling today. Like when she starts to throw in those forearms and she was getting Charlotte with them, dude, it looks as good as anything anyone else does other than Brock Lesnar. Like, no lie. But it's the everything is the story. Okay. And this is something all of us need to do more of. And it might be time to start differentiating things by when I tweet, if it's within kayfabe, I'll write kayfabe first because people don't fucking get it. The belt's a prop. It's a prop. That Divas title, people are going, it doesn't mean anything. It never fucking meant anything.
Right.
It will never mean anything. Seth Rollins, that title he holds around, it's bullshit. He didn't earn it. He does not, quote unquote, deserve it. You know why? It's a gimmick, guys. It's fake. It's a work. You know why she has the record? There's an old man, a 70-year-old man who decided, yeah, okay, she can keep it. Yep. That's it, guys. That's it. There's no other reason. Please fucking stop with it. She deserves it. And wrestling's weird because there's this weird thing where it's like, okay, she does a shitload of PR. She works really hard. She does Total Divas. She goes out on these media tours. She travels all around the fucking place. She works constantly. She's worked hurt. So there's like a certain level of, yeah, she's put in a lot of time and effort. So that's translating to something that we see on screen. Okay, fine. But that's not really even something we should be concerning ourselves with, right? That's not what we're watching. We're not watching her work hard at PR.
But you're putting yourself out of business there, dude, because we're part of kayfabe now. I mean, in
a way, I guess we
are. That's the thing. I mean, because that's one of the people's, like everybody, when I was on Twitter saying, I like this story a lot. What do I have the wrong mic on? God damn it, Sean, you're fired. When I was on Twitter defending this last night, no, I have the right mic on. People were coming back at me saying, oh, well, it's just because, you know, well, the one thing, which is problematic anyway, even though I hate the word problematic, is the whole, well, she slept with Cena, that's why she has it argument, which is a big one that's coming now. And the other thing is that people don't want to just look at this angle on either side of it, the AJ stands or the Nikki stands. They don't want to just look at the angle. They want to look at the big picture and like critique, oh, well, AJ wasn't that good anyway, and she screwed the company. I mean, that's so the stuff that we cover, the rumors and our opinions become part of this new kayfabe that all goes into it. Like the rage from last night isn't because people didn't like that finish. It's rage that's built up over like 4 fucking years of Bella's on top and rumors that, you know, Paige didn't get a push or what, you know, whatever.
It's how we're watching the show. It's how, you know, that's what Triple H was talking about when he was on with Austin about the reality era stuff. Is you're watching a certain segment of the fan base, and we, I guess, in a way, cultivate that. But at the same time, I feel like we make it pretty clear. I'm here for the story. My focus when I do the Raw recap is the story. What story are they telling? How well are they doing telling it? How well are the performers within it performing their duties within that story and servicing that story? So the story in a vacuum, just last night, was fucking outstanding. That was great. It was perfect. I thought it was wonderful. That's exactly what you should do based on what they were trying to tell and how they were trying to build to a pay-per-view match that you actually have to pay for, right, in 6 days. Okay, so that it worked for me. But it's like you said, you get to this point where it's like we know too much about everything going on behind the curtain, and we have the Dave Meltzers of the world telling us that, hey, if Charlotte doesn't win, it's probably due to John Cena's influence. That's what he said. That's a quote. So and Meltzer's respected enough. And he's wrong sometimes, sure, but he's respected enough and he's right enough times that you hear that and you can't help but, well, fuck. And there's absolutely political there's politics. There's politics at play here. And that's what I even said on Twitter. It's far more interesting to me as an adult who, you know, wrestling itself can be painfully awful. And if it wasn't my job, I probably wouldn't even watch it because it's just not, it's more interesting doing what we do where the political war that happened to decide that match was probably a lot more interesting than the match. It's absolutely more interesting than the match itself. The match itself wasn't really that great. But yeah, we have to stop looking at it like, okay, AJ should still have man, you know what? It's full. I hate saying this or being this guy. You're getting worked. If you've ever at any point sat there and said AJ deserves it more than Nikki, you're worked. You are fully worked. You're a mark. And I don't mean that even negatively, but like that's the idea is to piss you off and get you feeling some way like that. Mission accomplished. They got you.
And that's the thing is that, and I don't like it when people, because most of the time when people say you're getting worked or they're calling you a mark, they're doing it as an insult.
Yes.
I don't think it's the way that we're talking about it right now. It's not an insult because that's sort of the mission. That's what we all hope to get out of wrestling. We don't want to sit here and passively watch this and not give a shit. We want to get worked up. We want to be worked. And they've done that in the reality era. Could they have done it better? Is it sort of a mess with the way they got here? Yeah, I mean, I liked last night. I still can't separate it from the fact that Stephanie just last week sort of screwed Nikki by making this match, and then she came out and saved her. It's like everybody's, even when they're getting alignments right, somebody's fucked up. Yes. It could be so much better.
Yes.
But you got to start somewhere, and last night made me care more about Sunday. If you were really, really invested in the record, which I never was.
That's what I don't get.
That's what I mean. All of a sudden, I thought we were all in agreement that the record was bullshit. And then last night, everybody's coming at me saying, no, the record is the most important thing.
It was the weirdest fucking response.
And I never felt that way. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. There were so many people who were like, well, they screwed up the emotional payoff. Like Matt Fowler, a guy I'm a big Matt Fowler fan. IGN, one of Cageside.
Yeah.
We talk to him all the time. He said, well, this was the emotional payoff. What are you talking about? To what? No one cared. They've been doing trios for months. She hadn't even defended that title on anything other than a house show, which just they put on the network for months and months. Even including that, it had been months. And now here they are, and it's the day of, so they're making a big deal of it the day of. I just felt like, again, for the story they're telling, you look at that and you go, okay, we haven't built to this at all. It hasn't been. And a good example, and I hate to do this, because it's such a hip thing to do to bring up NXT and how they get it right versus how WWE gets it wrong. But Bayley had a journey. Yep. It was a journey to get to that title. So there was no one had the journey. There was no one who was actually built up appropriately as a challenger and had a really that you could get invested in their story. Trying to, okay, so why I just want to get it from you so you don't break the record. That's not really enough. It needs to be something more like now, where it's, okay, so you use that because there is no emotional payoff available. Just, you don't have the record now. Awesome. And now we love Charlotte for it. I'm not sure that's the case. Yeah. I like the idea much better to sit there and you fucking have him cheat and just nuclear heat. And I was watching it going, God, fucking cheated again. This twin magic shit. This is so, ooh. That's good. That's good, WWE. You good. You got me. Because now I'm like, fuck her. She shouldn't be champ. I don't want her to have the belt. I hope Charlotte destroys her. And then Charlotte needs to take the angle now where you go, you have it's bullshit. Your record is bullshit. And that will get her over. If she's on TV talking about, go to the celebration on SmackDown, have Charlotte come out and go, you realize this is bullshit, right? And you're so utterly full of shit that it's just, I can't even deal with it, and I can't wait to put a boot in your fucking ass on Sunday and take the title from you that you didn't earn and don't deserve. And everyone can now get behind that because it's absolutely the case, again, within the story. Stop doing what Nikki does. Nikki is in so many ways a smart like us. She's trying to tell two stories. One story, she's a heel who will cheat and do anything she can to win so that she can get the record. The other story is, shout out to my father.
My pop. Yeah.
No one believed in me. I wish he was here to share it with me, so I'll look to the heavens above. You go, that's a baby face. So that's true, right? That's true. She definitely has become something so much more than what she ever was before, and no one expected her to be anything. The Bella twins, for the majority of their run in WWE, have been a dumpster fire. They've been awful. As performers, as wrestlers, as everything, and Nikki Bella has again, will not take anything away from her. She's been outstanding as a wrestler. She's improved so much. It's unbelievable versus where she was. So yes, that's fine. But again, that's not at all the story that's being told. And in a way, it's like, okay, that there's a totally separate talk to be had about how they act on social media, because that's where she should get to be herself, and she should get to have that where she, she should get to have that personally, to where she's like, man, I can't believe I accomplished something like this. This is a big deal, because in a way it is an accomplishment. That's, we talk about, like Punk used to say, all I ever cared about was main event and Mania, and then he realized that's horseshit. Like, it's just some guy that decides it. Yep. So it's kind of the same. That's the battle I was having on Twitter the other day, where it's like, it's a prop, it's bullshit, we should only care about the story. But at the same time, it is in a way an accomplishment, so she should be proud of that. But it's just so conflicting, because fuckers like us are going to have to report on that, get our traffic on it, and it's news, it's a story. Yeah. So it's difficult to reconcile those two things with you know what I mean?
Well, the Bellas are in a weird place, because they're sort of, because like she says, they were originally famous for being just WWE's like red carpet celebrities. They didn't
Arm
have
candy.
Right, they didn't have a character. So on social media, they were supposed to be these themselves, and so it's not like they came in as Lana as a gimmick, and now they have to stick to that everywhere. Now they have to play a gimmick sometimes and not other times. My problem is when they do her sit down interview with Michael Cole last week was pretty much, it wasn't quite as over the top as the Instagram post talking about God and hard work, but it was the people doubted me and I proved them wrong. It was a babyface promo, and Cole fed right into it. So the company, it's when I don't blame Nikki for that. I blame the company when they get confused and can't even, when they do the matches where she works heel half of it and face. The promo before the match last night, half of it was a heel promo, and then she flipped a switch, and she's talking about hard work and dedication, and it's a fucking Hulk Hogan. Say your prayers and eat your vitamins.
And it's so earnest. There's no focus, and there's no one. And again, even that Cole interview would have been fine had Cole played the actual babyface and called her out and going,
right, exactly. But he fed her lines. He was like, "No, you already tied it. Monday doesn't matter." He said that to open the interview, and that's what people are saying. The record's so important. No, they told you last week the record doesn't matter.
Yeah, and he's going. And he's never, she's going, I've just accomplished so much, and I'm so proud of myself. And like, why is he not sitting there and going, okay, but like, you cheat constantly. Yep. Like, you didn't really accomplish much of this. Like, without Brie, you wouldn't even be here.
That's how he would act with any male heel character that was doing that.
Or if it was, and maybe
he's been threatened by Triple H and Kevin Owens because he calls them on their bullshit.
That was the whole basis of that interview series. Was that he would call Triple H on his bullshit when Triple H would show up to be a dickhead about Daniel Bryan. Yeah, it worked so well. And they didn't do that at all here. That's a big problem with, again, the story. Don't bring in this shit where she doesn't deserve anything. Right? I mean, again, I guess you could argue that, as again, like we said, with everything she does outside of it, just like, Cena's success, he's such a workhorse, of course they're going to put him there. But it's literally a 70-year-old man who decides all these things. And it's like, imagine thinking, football's back, right? And it's wonderful. It's great to have football itself. The NFL is a dumpster fire. But imagine if Roger Goodell was the one who decided who won the Super Bowl every year. Would it have the same weight? Of course not. These people are fighting and breaking bones and killing their brains to accomplish a goal, and they have other people doing the same thing, and it's legitimate. There's that. It's very. An emotional connection that you can make. It's why we're fans, because we know these people are killing themselves literally to accomplish something, and it's legitimate competition. We don't have that here. So it's just such a really weird space to occupy. So that's why, again, I feel like we all need to stop trying to occupy that space where we cannot, because it just doesn't fit, because it's not legitimate competition, and it is just one guy who's making these decisions. And there's a lot that goes into it. There are people in his ear who are trying to explain to him why it's right or wrong, or why it's a good idea or a bad idea to do things. And we're all susceptible to those things. I run Cageside Seats, and there's some stuff makes the front page, some stuff doesn't. So we try to figure out how we want to handle things, whatever. But ultimately, it all comes down on my head, because I'm the guy who's in charge. So I get that, but at the same time, it's like there's a certain level of, you just cannot act like this shit is legitimate, because it's not. So people are going, well, the belt doesn't mean anything. It never fucking meant anything. It doesn't ever mean it. again, are you talking about within the story? Or are you talking about the reality of it? Are you saying, if you're telling me that it meant more when AJ broke the record than it did when Nikki broke the record, you're lying. That's horseshit. You're wrong. It's not the case. Because if you, what great matches did AJ have? What great story did they tell with AJ during that time? None. I think she had one good match, maybe two good matches, two memorable matches, two memorable enough that I remember them, and no story that I necessarily remember. She just had a prop for a long time. It's just, it doesn't mean.
Well, that's what and people were. I got into an argument this morning on Twitter. I need to just stay the fuck off. I need to follow Bill's lead and just stay off Twitter when people start arguing with me. But people are like, well, AJ was so much better as a character. AJ's character was shit. AJ was the poster child for all girls are crazy, jealous catty chicks. And that's not AJ's fault either, but you can't say, well, Nikki should stand up to it when AJ didn't. I mean, you can't have it both ways. I know people, you are getting worked if you think Nikki has all this power that AJ didn't have. She might have some, but she can't go in there and just, shut it down.
She does have the connection.
Get fired.
She does have the connection. Let's be real.
Yeah, she does, but that doesn't mean that. I don't know. Maybe I'm being worked. I don't think Cena can go in there and just say, no, I'm not. If Vince wants you to do it, you'll do it or you won't be on television.
That's why I love Cena, that Cena will do it.
Right, exactly.
But at the same time, there's influence. There is influence. I mean, look,
it's just like any other.
If your wife got some sort of preferential treatment on Cageside seats, people would go, oh, it's because Geno loves Sean. They'd be right. In at least some small way, they'd be right. I'm so madly in love with you that it's going to extend to, I'm also in love with your old lady. Like, and I don't mean that in a weird way, but you know what I'm saying. You know what I mean? So it's like, so there has to be some of that because it's just, that's human nature. We have our bias and all that. But if we're to believe Meltzer, and if Meltzer's the be all end all, like we said, he said that if it's probably seen as influence if Charlotte doesn't win. Meltzer's also said multiple times that there were many different times where they planned to beat Nikki. That Paige was going to win the title months ago. That she was never at any point supposed to break the record. So it's, you get all these people going, it's just out of spite. I saw a really good tweet, and they said, all you people are like, oh, they're only giving her the record because they don't want AJ to have it, and it's totally out of spite. And I'm not saying that's not the case. Maybe it's true. But again, if we believe Meltzer, it's bullshit. That wasn't the intention because they were going to beat her multiple times, and something happened that made it not the case. And that's just how it goes. But I saw a great tweet. He said, and I don't remember who said it, so I'm sorry I can't give proper credit, but they said, it's got nothing to do with her beating it because they don't want AJ to have it anymore. It's got everything to do with they know you think that, and they're fucking working you. Mm-hmm. They know it's going to piss you off. So now, and this goes to what Seth Rollins said, and I hated what he said at first, and I didn't agree, and I cut a promo on him about it on this very show. But now I think he might be right. How the fuck do you get heat in 2015? They do the Dusty finish, and I sit there, I was pissed off about it. I didn't like it. Now you have every reason to be pissed at Nikki Bella. She's got the record, so theoretically the belt means more because she's got the record, or the belt means more because she cheated and you got a babyface chasing it. And Charlotte should cut a promo saying, you fucking devalued everything because you cheated, and I'm going to get it and bring value back to it, and that should have you invested in it. Or, there's all these things. So reality era pissed off, your smart pissed off, and your Mark pissed off, and everyone's still like, well, now the match on Sunday doesn't mean a fucking thing. I said, what the fuck can they do? What can they do? How do you, seriously, that's a real question. I might even do an article about this. How do you get heat then in 2015?
I don't know. I mean,
like that's everything they should do. You get nuclear heat on the heel just so you can set up the match you have to pay for. That's business. It's just good business. Yeah. Now pay for the match to watch her fucking get her ass beat by the babyface who just got fucked over. And they introduced the stipulations from Stephanie saying you can't do the twin magic shit at the pay-per-view. There's no steps like that. So again, and everyone's like, well, the record's what mattered. No, it's not. You just spent the past 6 months telling me it didn't matter. Now the day of, suddenly it does. What?
I mean, to get heat today, you have to do what you're saying. You have to follow the Kevin Owens model. Charlotte needs to come out and say your record is bullshit. You have to work a little bit of that in there. There's a way, there's a medium between the smart heat and the real heat, and for some reason Owens always finds it. Right? He can piss everybody off. And maybe it's so hard that you have to be like a fucking savant at wrestling psychology like he is to do it now. But like I said, I mean, I don't know. The Raw Fallout promo from Charlotte wasn't about the records bullshit. It was about my dad, my dad, my dad, my dad.
Yeah,
which is a
disappointed
problem. That's why people, which is a good angle that gets the mainstream fan probably, but it doesn't get the smart fan at all. We're too fucking cynical. We're gonna roll our eyes at that because that's all it is. Because the only character we've been given of her is that she's Ric Flair's daughter. Woo, woo.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's no reason to get invested in her. So that's what I'm saying. I like the finish. I like that last night. It's a good start, but it's still a mess everywhere else. And that's why they can't get heat in the 21st century, because they do one thing right and 6 things wrong.
Well, and Kevin Owens, you're talking about Kevin Owens, he makes everyone hate him. Well, no, he doesn't. The smart people, us assholes, we love him. We don't hate him.
During the Cena feud, there were multiple times where I was pissed at him. He managed to do it. In the meta, in the big picture, yeah. But there were still times, yeah.
See, I just feel like...
He can get Full Sail to boo it. I mean, maybe it's just in the moment, but he can do it.
Right. I feel like, again, pro wrestling's just occupying this weird space now where it's like people like that are... You're going to have a hard time with it because it's going to be, someone like that's going to come along and with Nikki, it's like so many people have decided they hate her and they're just not going to change their mind. Right. And they hate her in the sense, it's like Ava Marie, where it's like, again, I don't know. I'm starting to feel a whole lot more like if there's heat there, you need to cultivate that. And there's heat to be had. Get the heat.
Well, then how does that fit in with your Seth Rollins rage though? Because again,
like I just said, maybe he was right. Maybe because running into this, and I felt at the time, well, yeah, but I don't want to watch you. Because I guess for me, it's more like I don't care about Rollins. It's not even that he has heat. I just don't care. He's lame. You're lame as fuck, bro. Your laugh is grating. That fake laugh he does when he's on TV. And not like grating like, oh my God. Like, I want him to lose just so he's not in the main spot. I'd rather it be Reigns. Like, I'm just not like, and I don't give a fuck about what they're doing with Sting anymore. And the whole, he's gonna retain the world title and he's probably gonna lose the US title, whatever. That's a rumor. But I just don't care. But like Ava makes me care. Nikki made me care. That whole thing made me care. I was invested. And even if that's the other thing too, is it's like, okay, so the marks are going to be worked no matter what, but the smart marks, so you get those people worked into a tizzy, or all these people who are, when we're in situations like this where we're having these kind of conversations, if they can accomplish both of those things, then how's that not a win? We're going to be here either which, right? Mm-hmm. All these people are like, I'm done. No, you're not.
Well, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. And, just the story's so bad. Yeah. In a lot of ways, the story is bad, but this was the best that they could do to save with everything they've done before. The idea is either that, seriously, if you're booking it and you have a choice, emotional payoff when there's no emotional buildup to get to that payoff, or nuclear heat on the heel to lead to the title match where the babyface is probably going to win the belt. I know which way I probably would have gone.
Well, and it's like, I mean, people say there's not heat on Nikki, too. I mean, that's the reality era problem. This is something that Shoemaker, the masked man over at Grantland, talks about all the time. Since the Attitude Era, the heel has been the company. So if the heat is on the company, you're still mad. You're raging. You want to see anybody take down WWE and beat them. That's why we get behind guys like Owens and Daniel Bryan. And the Divas Revolution, again, that's on their presentation of Charlotte or any of the baby faces, is we don't really have that character to go with, but they are generating, I mean, to your point, they're generating heat. There's real emotion here. Maybe we don't know who to direct it at.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't think, people are going to tune. I don't understand that argument that they gave away, that they ruined the chance at this emotional moment. They would have given it away on free TV and then we'd be bitching about that.
Why would it have been emotional? Why would it have been a big emotional moment?
If you were an AJ stan, I guess.
Yeah, sure. I hate us for using that, and I can't stop doing it either. I've done it with other stuff, and you motherfucking Bella Army fans. So, yeah, like what do you want? Like, And that's the other thing too. It's like, well, they make me mad, so I don't even want to watch. And it's like, but here you are, A. B, you're coming back. C, like, what can they do? Like, what's the I understand that there is a line, and people keep using X-Pac heat. Stop using that. I'm pretty sure it's a myth at this point. And also, even if it's not, no one ever uses it the proper way it's intended. So just stop with that shit. And again, I'm converting more and more to heat is heat, dude. And especially in 2015, if you can make people fucking hate you, that's an accomplishment. And she's going to lose the belt anyway at some point, right? She's not, oh, I'm done. Why? Like, and if the TV sucks and the story, if your problem is like what we're talking about, they told the most convoluted, ridiculous bullshit story. They tried to tell 58 different stories at once. They failed at every single thing that they did in that respect. If that's what you're mad about, I'm with you. That's cool. Good. In a vacuum, last night was perfect.
Right.
When you stretch it for 4 months, it's, oh my God, it's awful. It's just terrible. But if your problem with it is that you're really fucking mad that Nikki broke the record, you got worked. That's like, I'm sorry. Like, again, I'm not trying to like, oh, it's such a condescending thing to say. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't have a problem with Aubrey Sitterson, but like the "you're getting worked, bro," that gimmick, it's just it's condescending, annoying bullshit.
Especially when you apply it to everything. That's the problem.
Yeah, every little thing means you're getting worked. No, it doesn't. But in this instance, again, if you're mad that they told a shitty story, you're not getting worked. You're just acknowledging the reality of the situation. But if you're mad that Nikki broke the record, you got worked. If you're mad that it's not AJ who's got the record anymore, you're getting worked. The record's bullshit. It's gimmick. So, but yeah, so I guess that's our big talk about the record and the big news.
And yeah, I think there is a problem. Our ratings are down. There's there's something's going on, but if you're on Twitter complaining about it, you're probably not going to walk away from it. The people who are going to walk away are already gone. They didn't care enough to get on their computers to bitch about it. So,
yeah, it's funny we say you're going to come back, we'll be here, and then in the same breath we're like, well, if I didn't work in it,
I wouldn't
pay all my bills, I'm probably gone.
When I give up on something, I don't announce to the world that I'm giving up on it.
Yes.
It's like the real heat is not paying attention. It's not screaming, I hate you.
Guess what? If you're fighting with your significant other,
you still care.
In a way, that's not a bad thing. It's because you care. I don't fight with people I don't give a fuck about.
Right.
So if you're angry, that's what they're playing on. You care. Made you angry? Guess what? You care. Means you care. Means you wanted something and you didn't get it and you're pissed. And their hope is you'll come back and pay to get it. And maybe you won't. And that's a fine line that they have to work. And I understand that and all this. And you go, yeah, but it's go away heat. Yeah, but it's this and this. And no, it ain't. You know how I know it's not go away heat? You're here talking to me about it. You know what I mean? So it's I'm fucking Rollins. I hate admitting that he's right in some small way, but I guess he was right in some small way.
Yep.
What else happened Casey Fieri, I don't know if that's how you say it.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I don't know how to say it either, but
he tweeted us today, and he asked a question that I wanted to get to. It's about Ava Marie, and we'll talk about that for a second.
Okay.
Shut up, Sean.
This is where you work me on this one because I tell myself I'm not going to be upset.
I said it I was in the Daily during one of my vacation days, and they were like, Geno, dude, they were talking about the Cageside Twitter, and they're like, he's so funny when he live blogs Raw and stuff. He's so funny when he talks about wrestling. And I'm like, oh yeah, whatever, blah blah. And they're like, yeah, but I could deal without the fucking Ava Marie stuff. God, he's such a fanboy for it. And I told the dude, I was like, hey, psst, between me and you, and I put a spoiler tag on it. So between me and you, it's a work, bro. Getting worked, bro. It's not a work, and that's what's funny too is the work is that I told him it's a work and it's actually not.
Oh, it's a workception.
Oh, work to work into a shoot, Marks. Fucking work. Don't turn a work into a shoot. Okay, he says, given her push and reports of WWE seeing Ava Marie as quote unquote super marketable, I'm curious how realistic you find their hopes for her. Even aside from the issues on debate regarding NXT, I just see a complete lack of basic charisma. Honestly, she's wooden. Okay. To address the reports, the reports were that she'd be the fucking champ by the end of the year, and there's a match announced already, and it's got nothing to do with her. And then the London show, and we don't know, so it's entirely possible she won't have anything to do with anything even up to the end of the year. So I don't know about the reports. I think they see her as super marketable, of course, because that's the focus of this season of Total Divas, at least in the first half for the most part, was all about Ava Marie and her. They're doing to her the Bella story.
Her inspirational journey, yes.
Yes. We're sending her out to train, and everyone hates her fucking guts. And, well, actually, they didn't say that. They said that she's beloved by everyone for some fucking weird reason, which is like, that's bad for the story, and B, it's not true in reality, which is what Total Divas is supposed to be, even though it's not. And I think they do see her super marketable, that they can take that and make her into a serviceable wrestler and use that as a story to push to, because they do. She's a gorgeous person. She's willing to go out and do all the PR stuff. She's got the drive, determination, whatever. They think she can go out there and walk the red carpets with The Rock, and it's all going to get them a ton of publicity and stuff like that. And they have to consider stuff like this. That's another thing that we don't think of when we only think in terms of kayfabe. And okay, and even if you are like doing like I said, to go, okay, well, just think of it as in terms of a story and how does it work for a story. Again, don't think the belt means something, because it doesn't. It's just a prop for the story. And if the story's good, then the belt does mean something only within that story, right? You do have to consider, and we have to consider, that they make decisions totally absent from that story, i.e., Ava's gorgeous. She's got a strong work ethic. She's shown that she's willing to do the Total Diva stuff. She does what we ask her. She goes out and trains. She does all this stuff. So we're going to put the belt on her. She's good for publicity. She's a pretty face. I go, now maybe you hate that, but they see money in that. They see someone who will walk the red carpet with The Rock, look fantastic doing it. People will wonder who the hell it is. They'll look into it. They'll, whatever. So that's something you need to understand and consider when thinking about this stuff. How realistic do I find their hopes for her? Totally realistic. Again, it's funny. It's a work. I'm behind Ava Marie. I'm behind Ava Marie in the sense that, again, I'm just fully on board the get heat train, man. Make me care. Dana Brooke doesn't make me care at all. And she's a garbage wrestler. So I can't get